Writers don't need more pressure. We do that enough ourselves. What writers need is a map. Welcome back to Author Odyssey, the planning realm. Today, we're going to do something that makes a lot of writers just exhale. My name is Melody Ann, and I am your guide. So today is about relieving pressure. You're going to get a map. We've battled some veritable forces, right? We've faced confusion, that fog of confusion. We faced distraction with the siren. And we faced that fear that planning will waste time, take up too much time, and crush our creative forces. And now, if you've been nodding along thinking, yeah, that's me, you're in the right place. This episode is about putting you on the path that you have been looking for. When a client comes to me and says, I have a book, often what's happening behind the scenes is this book project feels massive and it feels abstract. It's like standing on the edge of a wilderness and being told, okay, go. No trail markers, no supplies list, no sense of which direction to go in or what even to do first. The planning realm map changes their outlook from abstract ideas to concrete steps. It's a delicious exhale. And they often end up saying something like, oh, great, now I can see this is actually possible. And that's what we're doing today. We're zooming out. We're stepping up on the lookout point. We're getting that 30,000-foot view so you can stop wandering like a lost elf and start moving forward with purpose. With the right map, you will see that your book writing is a series of winning quests. And that's what the planning realm is built to do. The planning realm is stage one of your author odyssey. It's where your book becomes a structured path instead of some vague idea. Here's the core idea. The planning realm is made up of quests, not tasks, not homework, quests. Why quests? Because quests are clear and trackable. You choose your quest and you see your progress. You know what you're doing and you know why you're doing it. You know what's going to get in your way and you know how to count it as a win or when to count it as a win. And every quest has the same game elements because consistency is how we build momentum. So each quest includes what and why, so you know what you're doing in the point. Each quest introduces bad guys because we don't pretend obstacles don't exist. We name them and we crush them. And then we plan around them. Each quest gives you action steps, step 1, step 2, step 3, so you always know what to do next. You're never lost trying to figure it out on your own. Each quest includes power-ups, allies, and rewards. Power-ups are those things that give you energy, that help you through something. And the allies, that's the team around you, your allyship around you that helps you. And of course, the rewards help you realize that this should be an empowering, enjoyable experience. It's not supposed to feel like punishment. We've talked about this, but it deserves repeating. Most writers don't quit because there's lazy or it's not an internal thing in the sense of there's something wrong with the writer. That's not my experience. They quit because they're carrying too many decisions at the same time. They don't realize it, but every day they're trying to decide, who is this for? What's the structure? What's the angle? What belongs? What doesn't belong? Is this publishable? Is it original? Is it too much? Is it enough? Should I research more? Should I start over? That's not a writing problem. That's decision fatigue. The quest board solves that by sequencing the decisions you need to make. It breaks one overwhelming mountain into 10 clear trail segments. When I go backpacking, I don't reach the top of the mountain in one day. I stop over at several camps along the way. And I want those campsites along the way to offer a place to rest, refuel, and take in the beauty of my surroundings and allow me to see how far I've come. So you don't need the stress of trying to make it to the top in one leap. You need a map. So let's walk through this map. Stage one, planning realm. Begin your Odyssey. There are 10 quests on this board, and I'm going to introduce each one so you can see that whole path. And I'll give you a more detailed glimpse into a few key quests so you can feel how doable this becomes. Quest number one, that is the treasure map of intent. This is where you define your goals, your personal, your professional, your legacy goals. This is where you stop saying, I just want to write a book, and you start answering the deeper question, what do I want this book to do? Because without those goals, your book is likely to end up on some virtual shelf with all the other books nobody buys. This quest is about clarity of purpose. Goals provide direction, focus, accountability. They help you measure progress, manage time, and build confidence so you can align your book with your life. It's not just write a book, it's write a book that serves you and your readers. And in this quest, we have two classic bad guys show up, fog of confusion and the shiny object syndrome. We've talked about them already. The fog makes every idea look the same, and the siren whispers, start a different book. That's a better one. And your treasure map of intent helps you stop drifting and start navigating. Quest two, the reader's compass. The reader's compass. This is actually one of the most powerful shifts for nonfiction authors. Your book is not for everyone, and I hear it all the time. Oh, it could help anyone. It could help everyone. True, but it's not for everyone. It's for someone. And the moment you get specific about who that someone is, your writing changes. Your publishing decisions change. Your strategy becomes clear, and your author voice, it gets strong. The reader compass points you toward your ideal reader, not all readers, your ideal reader. So your book speaks to them, directly to them, and not into some void. And this is going to come back later when we talk about other books, because sometimes we see other books on the shelves and we think, why bother? The reader compass helps you understand why bother. How is it that my book speaks to my exact type of reader, my exact ideal reader? All right. There are some villains, of course, in Quest 2. There's the echo void. Every time you say some words out, there's just this echo of silence, like nobody's out there listening. There's the masked crowd, which tricks you into writing for everyone, which means you write to no one. And then, of course, there's the scatter storm hydra, who pulls you in too many directions with too many reader types. So you never really settle into that one reader, writing directly to them. Quest 2 comes with power-ups like your reader persona workbook, your reader compass video, your interview question bank, and the action steps are real and grounded. You fill in the reader persona, you interview ideal readers, you craft your persona. When you are writing, you imagine your ideal writer sitting across from you, and you write directly to them. Your book will become so much more personal. People reading it will go, oh, how does she know? She's speaking directly to me. Quest 3 is the genre gateway. Now, this quest lifts you up to that 30,000-foot view so you can understand the terrain you're entering. Your book lives, or every book lives, in a landscape of ideas, in a landscape of your industries and genres. The genre gateway helps you see where your book fits into these landscapes before you descend into the details. This isn't about every rival book. It's about understanding the territory so you can choose your path forward. And the villains here, the herd mirage, which whispers, just blend in, write what everyone else is writing. And this is a big problem. And this happens with my clients. Especially in industries like the medical field, a lot of doctors come to me and they want to write a book, and they feel this pull to like fit in with what all the other doctors are writing, because Everyone knows everyone. It's a little scary to kind of step out of the herd in the medical world as it is in some other industries, and that's the herd mirage. Like, you're supposed to fit in and not stand out, which is not what you want for your book. You want to stand out. You want people to say, ah, this author is different. And then there's the void of vagueness, which keeps your book floating without a true identity, which means it will be forever lost after it's published. In this quest, you identify your industry and you identify your genre, you research the landscape broadly, and you plant your flag with a simple sentence. My book belongs in this niche with this genre, and it explores the topic from my perspective. All right, quest 4. It's the rival's mirror. This is where we start looking at other individual books. You start looking at the books on their shelf. There will be books that will be your neighbors, whether on a real shelf or on a virtual shelf. So let these books be your neighbors, let them be your competitors, and let them be your teachers. You study them and you look at the reader's response to them, not to copy them, but to sharpen your own identity, to find your true voice that stands out from the rest. The villains here are the comparison gremlin who's always whispering, they already read it. They already wrote it better than you could. Or the imposter phantom convincing you that your voice has no place on that shelf. Neither of these are true. There is no other book out there in your landscape, in your niche, on that topic with your perspective, using your stories and your words. And this quest for the rival's mirror, this is going to help you understand that, and it's going to help you understand where you fit. It's going to teach you that standing on the shelf next to these other books mean you and your book belong. And this quest gives you tools like the competitive book analysis template. So comparison becomes strategy, not self-destruction. Quest 5, the knowledge hoard. So every adventurer needs supplies. In this quest, you take stock of your resources, your time, your energy, your money, your knowledge. And without this, you risk burning out midway. There are a couple of villains here. Time thief, where you lose hours through distraction. I know I have done that. I'm sure you have done that. So we want to deal with that so that we can really focus ourselves. And then the other one is the energy wraith. Drains your motivation when you start stretching yourself too thin. This quest is practical, it's empowering, and it's when you decide what you can realistically invest and how you can protect the resources you are investing. Quest 6 is a wonderful companion. It's called Assemble Your Guild, because no hero succeeds alone. Even the most solitary adventurer needs allies. The villains here are powerful. It's the lone wolf curse, that voice that says, real authors, they go it alone, maybe in a corner of the attic. Or the silent chamber, keeping you from seeking feedback. Fear takes over. And then there's the distraction doppelganger, the distraction doppelganger. Say it again, say it 3 times fast. And that is the helpful ally who actually doesn't really know what they're talking about, and they pull you off course, but they really love you and they want to be helpful, or they want to make a lot of money, either or. This quest helps you intentionally gather your support, mentors, peers, accountability, community, and future readers. It helps you understand who the right people are and how each of those right people can help you. So as a book coach, I'm an excellent help in pulling out your stories, in structuring. And I always say later, go to your beta readers, find people who are your perfect readers and get feedback, because that information then helps us write a better book. So each of your allies have a different role in your epic quest to write a book. And so that is quest 7, your guild. And then, sorry, that was quest 6. This is quest 7, and that is your crystal concept. Now, the crystal concept, that's when you create one sharp sentence to guide all your future decisions. And this sounds so scary. This is your big idea. This is your audience. This is your purpose. It's one guiding concept, and you're going to use this when making writing decisions, when developing your pitch, when you're deciding when you're talking to publishers, potential publishers, and in book promotion. This is that guiding. This is where we're going. It's your North Star. And the villains here are the blur beast. It's when you thrive, and then the blur beast thrives when your idea is fuzzy. It's scary to get crystal clear. And so the blur beast knows that and says, well, let's not plant that flag just yet. And then there's the chameleon of doubt. And it wants to dilute your message to please everyone. We're going back to my book's for everyone. No, it's not. It is for a particular niche of people who want a book about in your industry, written in your genre, with your voice, with your ideas, with your stories. Don't dilute that message. And then there's the fragment fiend that whispers, what about that book over there? We should be writing another book. We have 3 book ideas. Let's write them all. And then your project collapses. And we don't want that. When your crystal concept clicks, it's like drawing a bow, steady and focused, and seeing exactly where you're aiming. Everything aligns. So once you have all of this, you can do your skeleton map. That's quest 8, your skeleton map. And I know there's some people out there going, this seems like a lot of work. It's a lot less work than you think it is. In fact, it's a lot less work than trying to write by the seat of your pants and giving up, wasting a lot of time. This is a lot less work. So let's look at quest 8, your skeleton map. This is where you outline. This is where your ideas grow bones. It transforms all these scattered thoughts into a chapter by chapter journey for you and your reader. The skeleton map is designed for you, the writer, as well as the reader. And here are some villains. There's the chaos swarm, where you have so many thoughts and so many ideas and everything is buzzing and you can't make decisions because you can't focus. Then there's the endless loop, which tricks you into reorganizing over and over and over and over and over again. And then there's the flat chapter phantom. It haunts your outline ideas. It makes them lifeless, vague headings that don't inspire. We want your skeleton to inspire you to write the book. Later, it's going to inspire your readers. You need that inspiration, that motivation, that push to write the book. So when people are coming up with working titles, for example, I often say, yes, that's wonderful. Start with a working title that inspires you. It's going to change later when we're talking about when we get into the readers, but first we need to inspire you to write it. So this is about writing and reading. It's not just about the author. It's not just about the reader. Not yet. Later, we really dig into the reader. So this quest is about setting you up for success, a writing success. So the skeleton fits your writing style. It gives you the structure, that you have direction, and it supports your creativity instead of choking it. Okay, quest 9. We're so close. This is the door of destiny. And this might sound odd, but this is where we're going to look at your publishing path. Traditional, self, hybrid, collective, partner publishing. We're going to learn about the landscape, and you're going to start to understand which door matches your goals, your content. And it might feel early to think about publishing, but scouting the landscape now dispels myths, quiets fears, and lets you write with steadier confidence. The villains here, the gatekeeper shadow whispering, you'll never get accepted to a traditional publisher. Or the illusion of ease. Ooh, those vanity presses, they look like fabulous shortcuts, but they're going to cost you a lot of money. often money you lose and you don't get the quality you want. And then there's the paralysis phantom, thinking, oh, I can't choose. I can't choose. Anything I choose is written in stone, and that's just not true. This quest does not lock you in forever. It simply lights the path ahead. Quest 10, are you ready? This is the road ahead. This is when we start plotting out how this is all going to work. This is where your plan becomes real. You can chart milestones, you can set intentions, you can create sustainability. Now, again, this is not written on a stone tablet, it's a living map. You can return to it and refine it as your journey unfolds. I know sometimes my authors come up, I often suggest they do a 90-day plan, and we actually have a course to create a 90-day plan. They send it to me. And the first couple of times they do it, it often doesn't quite work out. And the instinct is to get angry at yourself. And what I say is, no, this is giving you information. This is letting you know how much time you actually have to dedicate to your book. This is giving you information about your time and your energy and your resources. Listen. The villains here are the deadline dragon, roaring, there's never enough time. The budget banshee, who shrieks that publishing is just too expensive. And the overwhelm ogre, which piles every task on you all at once, which is why we have quests, not just in planning, but in writing as well. This is the last quest in planning, but then you can move on and there are quests in writing. So this is where you finish stage one, knowing not just what you're going to write, but when and how it's all going to work out. Let's pause for a second and look what just happened. Now you see a map like this. Overwhelm changes because overwhelm often comes from the unknown, from not knowing what's next, what matters, and what we can put on the back burner, what can wait. The quest board answers all of these questions. It doesn't ask you to do everything today. It just asks you to do the next quest. And this is where I want to give you a reframe that I think will help. Because planning is not pressure. Planning is relief. It's that moment you stop holding the entire book in your head and you put it on a path. And it turns writing into a series of wins instead of this endless grind. So if you've been thinking, I should be further along, swap that thought out for this. I don't need that pressure. I need a map. Now let's do a mini exercise together. I want you to answer two questions. We're going to do a mini exercise by answering two questions. One, if you had a map, would you move forward more confidently? That's an easy one, yes or no. The second question, which part of your book journey feels most unclear right now? Second question is, which part of your book journey feels most unclear right now? Wherever that happens to be, not failure. That's simply where you are on the game board. It tells you which quest to start with. And wherever you are, there is a next step, and we've mapped it. Now, I want to close today by giving you the cleanest, simplest starting point, and that is with quest one, the treasure map of intent. Because if you don't define what success looks like, the fog will roll in, the siren will sing, and you will drift. But when you have a treasure map of intent, you have direction. You have a reason. You have an anchor. Quest one is where you clarify your purpose so your book serves you and your readers. It's where you stop writing on hope and start writing with intent. So here's your invitation. If you're tired of going it alone, come walk the quest board with us. The planning realm turns overwhelm into progress, one quest at a time. And if you want to begin today, try quest one. Start your treasure map of intent, define success, set your direction, and let your book stop wandering and start moving forward. The link is in the description. Next week, we're actually going to unroll the treasure map of intent and show you how it anchors your journey. So go to the link, download it all, and return next week ready to claim ground, because books with intent create impact, and books without it wander. You don't need pressure, you need a map, and now you've got one. I will see you next week in the planning realm.